Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie and I would love for you to join me while I paint a lotus flower. I had created this kind of as a little test on a scrap piece of paper. Well, it wasn't just paper, it was a watercolor piece of paper, and I wasn't too thrilled with the results, but it gave me a general idea of what I wanted to do. And now I'm taking kind of my vision onto, like the big piece. It has no purpose other than just to bring me joy. I really wanted to do this and take my time with it. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm using, and then we can just paint together. So while I do this, you can go gather your things and then just paint with me. I am using my good brush today. It is a red sable brush. It's my only natural hair brush. It's a size 8 and it holds a ton of water and paint. And in this first layer, I'm hardly using any pigment whatsoever, so that it's really light. That's actually a very strong color by Core. It's quinacridone rose, but I mean it's just super diluted so that I can get a really soft wash to start with. And I'm using fluid hot press paper. It's really great for scanning, but I don't think this is going to be a print or a sticker or anything like that. Again, I just wanted to do a lotus flower. So my palette, I don't remember where I got it, to be honest, and it's not the best. It doesn't open flat completely. It kind of has like a dent in the, not a dent, but like it stays a little bit open, and so it kind of like does like the bonk bonk on my desk when I'm using it. So lame. Yeah, so I bought better ones, so you probably don't want to know where I got it. And I'm using a horrible little towel, which I also don't recommend using. Paper towels are probably better, but right now this is being filmed 2020 October, and trying to be a little bit thoughtful with resources like that. So yeah, I just grabbed this paper towel. Not paper towel, this just little old, I don't know, it's not, I wouldn't even use it for dishes, but it's a towel, and I wash them, but it's not lint free, and so you see me keep cleaning my brush with my hands. So I think that's it. I use a mixture of Core and Van Gogh, which is Talon's brand paints, but I think for this painting I literally just use 2 paints. I use the Quin Rose and Ultramarine Blue when I go in and do my details like shadows on the petals. And that's about it. What I will say about my technique before I let you enjoy the painting process is that hot press paper, some folks don't enjoy it because of the lines, the harshness that can be created. I don't know, I guess in the drying process, you have to use very little bit of water, and I don't know, I like it. I really do, and I find it quite enjoyable, but I am jumping around between the petals, and I'm sorry about my hand being in the way sometimes, but I'm very right-handed, and I've skipped some portions where my hand is really obtrusive. But the reason I skip around is kind of to intentionally create that harshness, so that it'll give me a better idea of where to create the like shadows and lines, like to create depth and to show that, hey, this is a separation between one petal and another. And with watercolors in general, oh, you can see like my hairs or my bangs, and they're like, they look like little tentacles. Just noticing that. So yeah, it just requires patience and waiting between layers. So, you know, you'll see those breaks and just me not wanting you guys to have to watch, you know, pauses of drawing. And I did not use my little craft dryer for this because hot press paper does dry a bit faster than cold press paper that is, you know, like what is it, like, I don't know, 300 GSM or whatever, those heavier weight papers. Yes, so you don't have to wait as long, and that's also part of it being a little bit more difficult to use. So here I have switched to a smaller brush, and this one is synthetic. It's a mimic squirrel, and yeah, this is part of where I'll start creating some of those details. And initially I did try and just use a more pigmented Quin Rose, and then I decided, you know what, no, I'm gonna have to go deep and start adding in some other pigments. And that petal on the right, on the bottom, ends up being just like very difficult to change the color on that one. So I stopped painting it completely for a while and come back to it last. So it might bug you because it's a different color from all the other petals. But I end up rescuing it the best I can at the end. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm gonna let you watch now and stop talking. Okay, I'll be back. All right, so this is where you have to get brave. And you know, you've done everything light, and you did your first layer light, you did your second layer light, and then you just have to go for it, and you have to start doing your dark layers, because even though you may feel like, okay, I added some depth, no, it's usually not dark enough. And I learned this, after, a while of doing watercolors. And even after I've completed this whole entire repetition of every single petal and everything, I actually, off camera, went back and did it all over again. But you can only watch so much. So it just shows you, like, and I'll show a comparison at the very end of the video between the hot press paper and the little scrap, like, initial idea that I had on the less expensive paper that I used. And you'll see how, like, this one just has more depth compared to the cold press paper that I used. And I think it really has to do with the, taking your time, limiting the color palette, and just working those layers very slowly with less paint. But you really have to build them up and take your time. And, having patience with watercolors, I think, was the hardest part of learning to do watercolors, and is the worst part of learning to do watercolors. Everybody was like, oh, it's so relaxing, but no, it's sometimes it's not. Oh, here it is. So yeah, here's the original piece that I did, and I thought I could save it by adding this background. And I think, like, the bottom one looks so cartoony, and they're the same colors, and they just, like, I don't know. I think the top one just looks so awesome. Can you imagine it with, like, just a stem or something? It would just look so much more realistic. Like, just adding, and I'm pointing out to you where you can just continue to add depth, and it's going to continue to pop. And I really do. So if you want to see the finished piece, I'll have it on my Instagram. And yeah, if you want to keep painting with me and keep seeing things like this, please leave some comments below. Let me know what you want to see. Like and subscribe so you'll get a notification. And thank you so much for being here with me. And I hope we can keep each other company and keep painting with each other. Thanks, and have a wonderful day, and we'll see each other soon. Thanks.